These 15 American cars didn't just turn heads, they started revolutions. Built with heart, muscle, and true American spirit, they changed the way the world sees the road. Number 15, 1968, Dodge Charger RT 440. Among the muscle car legends that shaped American automotive history, the 1968 Dodge Charger RT 440 stands proudly in this list. This incredible machine helped define an era. Fully restored and enhanced with custom upgrades, this Charger proves why it remains one of the most respected and admired classic cars ever built. At the heart of this masterpiece lies a massive 440 cubic inch Magnum big block V8 engine, one of the most powerful to ever roar down American roads. Fitted with a 6-pack triple 2-barrel carburetor setup and a steel air cleaner, this engine delivers a symphony of power that few can match. The ultra-rare 4-speed manual transmission takes driving excitement to a whole new level, while the legendary Dana 4.10 axle offered as a separate bonus guarantees true muscle car performance. This particular Charger has been treasured for over 15 years, with its full restoration completed between 2006 and 2008 in the United States before being transported east to the United Kingdom. Since then, it has only become better thanks to thoughtful upgrades that never compromise its originality. To improve everyday drivability, a 3.54 axle replaced the original Dana axle, lowering engine revolutions at highway speeds. A new twin-disc clutch was also installed to handle the engine's incredible torque with ease. Inside, the cabin has been transformed into a quiet and comfortable retreat. Premium soundproofing materials such as Dynamat and Dynapad line the interior, creating a smooth, refined driving experience. The modern Alpine sound system, with Bluetooth, USB connectivity, 6x9-inch speakers, rear tweeters, and a boot-mounted amplifier, delivers crystal-clear audio, while the factory radio remains intact for those who prefer vintage charm. Additional upgrades include Wilwood front disc brakes with braided lines, stainless steel exhausts, a rear anti-roll bar, and an MSD electronic ignition. The exterior shines with a vinyl roof, classic tail stripe, tinted windows, and xenon headlights, complemented by a rare 1967 Dodge wood steering wheel and remote boot release. Number 14, 1970, Chevrolet Chevel LS6. When it comes to defining what a true American muscle car should be, the 1970 Chevrolet Chevel LS6 remains a shining example of raw power and bold design. This legendary machine, with unmatched authority, changed the way people looked at performance forever. At the heart of this automotive masterpiece was a thunderous 454 cubic inch V8 engine that delivered a jaw-dropping 450 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. These were not just numbers on a page. They translated into real-world power that launched the Chevel from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.8 seconds. Its top speed of 108 miles per hour confirmed that it was more than capable of dominating both the drag strip and the open highway. Under the hood, this car was a marvel of engineering. It featured an 800 cubic feet per minute Holley 4-barrel carburetor mounted on a lightweight aluminum intake manifold, giving the engine the breath it needed to unleash its full potential. Inside the engine, forged aluminum pistons and a forged steel crank ensured strength and durability at high revolutions. The compression ratio of 11.25 to 1 added another layer of muscle to this already ferocious power plant. Completing the package was the cowl induction hood, which fed cool air directly into the engine bay for even greater performance gains. From a design standpoint, the 1970 Chevel LS6 exuded confidence and strength. Its aggressive front end replaced the soft curves of earlier models with bolder lines, while rectangular parking lamps placed just beneath the headlights gave it a sharper, more focused look. A sweeping bodyline ran from nose to tail, creating an appearance that matched its powerful soul. Inside, the newly designed dashboard brought together sporty flair and timeless class. On the track, the Chevel LS6 consistently ran the quarter mile in under 14 seconds, proving its might against any competition. It was a road warrior and a showstopper all in one. Number 13, 1974 Buick Apollo GSX. The 1974 Buick Apollo GSX carved out a special place by doing things a little differently. Under the cover, this confident classic carried a 350 cubic inch V8 engine that produced 175 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. Paired with a smooth 3-speed manual transmission, it offered solid acceleration from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 10.3 seconds, a quarter-mile time of 17.5 seconds, and an impressive top speed of 119 miles per hour. While it may not have shattered records, the Apollo GSX delivered a ride that was smooth, reliable, and enjoyable in all the right ways. Visually, the Apollo GSX was quietly stunning. Buick enhanced the design with the GSX Appearance Package, which gave the car a sporty yet sophisticated style. Unlike more aggressive muscle cars, the Apollo GSX favored clean lines and timeless curves, closely resembling the beloved Chevrolet Nova. The GSX version added subtle side striping, a blacked-out grille, and bold GSX decals, creating a distinctive look without resorting to flashy gimmicks. Inside, comfort took center stage. The cabin was designed with sound-deadening materials, full foam seats, and a flow-through ventilation system that kept the ride both quiet and refreshing. Buick offered an array of thoughtful features such as a semi-closed cooling system, manual brakes with finned front drums, and a coil spring suspension with a stabilizer bar, ensuring both comfort and control on every drive. Buyers could personalize their Apollo with options like variable ratio power steering, power brakes, and climate-controlled air conditioning. For added flair, deluxe wheel covers, a custom vinyl top, and color-matched side moldings were available. The GSX interior boasted white vinyl bucket seats with striking red accents, wrapping the driver in style and comfort. Number 12, 1984 Lincoln Mark 7 LSC. Back in the year 1987, a very special car which did not try to show off with flashy wings or wild paint. Instead, it brought something better. The Lincoln Mark 7 LSC became one of the most loved American cars of its time. This amazing car came with a very strong engine. It had a 300 cubic inch V8 that used special fuel injection to help it run better. It made 225 horsepower at 4,000 revolutions per minute. It also gave 300 pound-feet of torque at 3,200 revolutions per minute. That means it could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 8 seconds. It even reached 100 miles per hour in only 22 seconds. For a big luxury car, that was very fast. It could even beat a Porsche 944 in a race. Moreover, the Lincoln Mark 7 LSC was not just about going fast. It had a special kind of ride. Instead of metal springs, it used air-filled rubber bladders. These were controlled by a computer, so the car could stay at the perfect height no matter how many people or bags were inside. This gave the car a super smooth ride. On long roads or big bumps, it felt like the car was floating. The seats were soft, but also firm enough to keep people comfortable on long trips. What made the LSC even more special was how it was handled. It had strong tires from Goodyear and a stiff suspension made just for this model. The car turned corners with confidence and stayed steady, even when pushed hard. It was not a small car, but it never felt heavy or slow when turning. The steering was firm and easy to control. Even though it was made for comfort, it could handle twisty roads like a pro. Everywhere you looked, the Lincoln Mark 7 LSC showed careful design. The shape of the body was smooth and long. The lines of the car helped it move through the air easily. The front had a fancy grille, and the back had a classic spare tire bump. These touches gave the car a stylish look that many people loved. Inside, everything was made to feel just right. It had power controls, comfy seats, and simple, easy-to-read gauges. There were also mirrors, lights, and computers that helped make driving fun and easy. Every piece was chosen to make the driver feel proud to own this car. Number 11, 1956 Chrysler 300B. Back in the year 1956, a car came along that made people stop and stare. This amazing car was called the Chrysler 300B, and it became one of the most important cars ever made in America. Starting with what was under the hood, Chrysler gave this car a big and powerful engine. It had 354 cubic inches of piston space, which made it very strong. The compression was raised to 9.0 to 1, and the crankshaft was made tougher than before. This helped the engine grow from 300 horsepower to 340 horsepower. The torque also went up from 345 to 385 pound-feet. All of this meant that the car could move with great strength and never feel slow or weak. As the car became more powerful, the company made sure it stayed easy to drive. Most drivers used the 2-speed automatic transmission, which had push-button controls to make changing gears simple and fun. A few versions had 3-speed manuals or 3-speed automatics, giving people more ways to enjoy driving their car. When you looked at the body, the Chrysler 300B had a clean and elegant shape. Sculpted fins were added to the back panels, giving the car a fresh and stylish look. The brakes were made larger, with 12-inch center plane discs that worked well with the powerful Firepower V8 engine. These changes made the car feel safe and smooth while cruising on any road. Along with its great power and looks, the car also had many cool features that made driving more fun. People could choose options like air conditioning, power steering, power windows, power seats, and even a clock placed right on the steering wheel. These small things helped make every ride feel special and easy. One beautiful version painted in cloud white was fully restored. The shiny chrome wire wheels were added later, and the whole car looks just like it did when it was brand new. The Chrysler 300B showed everyone how a car could be both powerful and classy at the same time. Number 10, 1964 Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt. In the early 1960s, American car companies were building some very special cars. While many people know about Chevrolet and Dodge, Ford had a car that made a huge mark in history. It was called the 1964 Ford Thunderbolt. To make the Thunderbolt, Ford started with their mid-size Fairlane, which came out in 1962. The Fairlane was smaller and lighter than the big Ford Galaxy, so it was easier to turn it into something special. Ford worked with a company called Dearborn Steel Tubing to make big changes to the car. These changes helped the car weigh less so it could move quicker and handle better on the racetrack. One of the biggest changes was the use of fiberglass. Ford replaced many parts of the car, like the hood, front fenders, and doors, with lightweight fiberglass pieces. Later on, the bumpers were made from aluminum because of racing rules. They also used plexiglass for the windows, which was lighter than regular glass. To make the car even lighter, Ford took out things like the radio, heater, jack, carpet, and even the sun visors and mirrors. The seats were very simple, and the floor was covered with rubber instead of fabric. All of these changes helped the car weigh about 3,225 pounds. Under the big hood, the Thunderbolt had a very powerful engine. It was a 427 cubic inch V8 engine with dual Holley 4-barrel carburetors. Ford said it made 425 horsepower, but many people believe it was even more, maybe close to 500. The engine had strong parts like a forged steel crank and high-riser heads. The intake was made to send air straight to the engine, and the battery was moved to the trunk to help balance the car's weight. To keep the engine cool and powerful, the high-beam headlights were replaced with air vents. These vents helped send fresh air into the engine, and that helped the car stay strong during racing. The hood had a special teardrop-shaped scoop to let hot air out. Everything about the engine was made to be tough, strong, and ready for hard work. Drivers could choose between two transmissions. One was a 4-speed manual made by Borg-Warner, and the other was a heavy-duty 3-speed automatic called the Cruise-O-Matic. Both worked very well with the powerful engine. The rear end had strong gears, 4.57 for the manual and 4.44 for the automatic. These strong parts helped the car move quickly during races. The Thunderbolt also had special wheels and tires. Some came from Goodyear and others from Mickey Thompson, a famous racer. The car had strong brakes, strong traction bars, and other racing tools that helped it win many events. Ford even added a strong shield around the clutch to keep it safe during heavy racing. Only 100 Thunderbolts were made in 1964. The first 11 cars were painted in a dark red color called Vintage Burgundy. The rest were painted in a color called Wimbledon White. Each one had a metal plate inside the glove box to tell owners this car was made just for racing. The plate explained that this car might look a little different, but that was because it was built with special parts to make it light and strong. The Ford Thunderbolt proved that Ford could build a car that became one of the most important muscle cars ever made in America. Number 9. 1971 Oldsmobile 442 W30. The 1971 Oldsmobile 442 W30 was starting to lose its edge due to rising fuel prices and tighter emission standards. But Oldsmobile found a way to adapt without letting go of the heart-pounding thrill that muscle car fans craved. Speaking of looks, the exterior design saw only small updates from the previous model year, such as a freshened grille and taillight inserts, but the real story unfolded under the hood. Despite new regulations forcing automakers to reduce compression ratios and adjust engines to run on regular fuel, Oldsmobile's engineers ensured the 442 W30 retained its commanding road presence. The powerful 455 cubic inch V8 engine continued to impress, even with a slightly reduced compression ratio. For the base 442, horsepower dropped from 365 to 340 due to a milder camshaft and other internal changes. However, the W30 option elevated performance to another level. It came equipped with a factory blueprinted engine, a specially tuned camshaft and manual transmission models, a lightweight aluminum intake manifold, a low-restriction air cleaner, and a functioning air induction hood. These features combine to preserve the engine's excellent torque output, allowing drivers to enjoy thrilling acceleration and powerful response across the entire rev range. Performance was only one part of the W30's appeal. It was also a rarity. Fewer than 1,000 total units were built during the model year, making it one of the most exclusive offerings of its time. Only 110 of those were convertibles, adding to its desirability and collectible status. Even as other muscle cars of the era began to lose their edge, the W30 remained one of the most exciting options available on the market. Oldsmobile's attention to detail, mechanical precision, and refusal to compromise on driving excitement helped the 1971 442 W30 stand apart. Number 8. 1997 Mercury Cougar. The 7th generation Mercury Cougar R7 delivered something truly rare in the American coupe world. From 1989 through 1997, this elegant two-door machine quietly established itself as a leader in comfort, technology, and V8 strength, all without needing to shout for attention. Every detail of the design contributed to a strong yet graceful presence. The long hood and wide stance gave the Cougar unmistakable curb appeal, while clean body lines and unique trim options helped distinguish it from anything else on the road. With the LS offering bright chrome accents and the XR7 embracing a more shadowed, aggressive tone, the car delivered a distinct personality without losing its composed elegance. Inside the power compartment, Mercury gave the XR7 a 281 cubic inch V8 engine, which produced 205 horsepower and 265 pound-feet of torque. This powerful heart, paired with a smooth 4-speed automatic transmission, made every acceleration feel effortless. The car moved from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 8.5 seconds and carried on to a top speed of 110 miles per hour. Its power delivery was strong and consistent, perfect for long-distance cruising or spirited driving on open roads. The driver's experience was elevated by a smartly designed cabin, supportive bucket seats, a focused dashboard layout, and clear analog gauges made the cockpit feel tailored for those who appreciated the journey as much as the destination. Comfort met performance in perfect balance, showing that Mercury aimed far beyond basic muscle. Where the Cougar truly excelled was in its engineering. Equipped with 4-wheel anti-lock disc brakes, 16-inch alloy wheels, and an advanced electronically adjustable suspension system, the XR7 offered a level of control and stability that most American coupes simply could not match. Its 4-wheel independent suspension gave it handling characteristics usually found in European Grand Tourers. The 7th generation Mercury Cougar XR7 redefined what American personal luxury could be during the 90s. Number 7. 1983 Chevy Malibu. The 1983 Chevrolet Malibu may not have arrived with flashy badges or high-performance marketing, but its impact on American car culture is undeniable. Built during a time when practicality and fuel efficiency ruled the road, this mid-sized machine carved its own unique legacy by becoming the ultimate sleeper and one of the most versatile platforms of its era. Originally offered as part of General Motors' respected G-body lineup, the Malibu was available in multiple body styles, including a two-door coupe, a four-door sedan, and a spacious station wagon. Its clean, squared-off design captured the styling cues of the 80s, making it a textbook example of the decade's automotive identity. While other vehicles were chasing aggressive lines or futuristic shapes, the Malibu stood firm with an honest, timeless design that aged better than expected. What set the Malibu apart was its smart engineering. The body-on-frame construction, combined with rear-wheel drive, created a platform that was not only durable, but also ripe for performance upgrades. The structure was sturdy, the dimensions were well-balanced, and the layout allowed for nearly endless customization. Enthusiasts quickly realized that this unassuming car held tremendous potential. Further, the engine bay was generous, providing ample room for Chevrolet's dependable small-block V8 engine. More importantly, it could be easily modified to house larger power plants, including big block engines that turned the humble Malibu into a full-fledged street machine. The car's stock triangulated four-link rear suspension offered impressive control, while the lightweight build kept things responsive and quick. Aftermarket support exploded, giving the Malibu access to suspension kits, engine swaps, brake upgrades, and body enhancements. Whether it was transformed into a drag strip bruiser, a pro touring masterpiece, or a daily driven hot rod, the Malibu never disappointed. Its flexibility allowed builders to tailor the car to any performance level or aesthetic goal without compromise. Beyond its mechanical advantages, the Malibu earned a place in the hearts of builders who appreciated its no-nonsense nature. Number 6. 1986 Dodge Omni GHS. When it comes to proving that performance isn't always about size, the 1986 Dodge Omni GHS rewrote the rulebook. Built under the brilliant vision of automotive legend Carlo Shelby, the GHS, short for Goes Like Hell Shelby, was an American pocket rocket that stunned the world with its outrageous power and track-ready performance. Beneath the hood of this little warrior sat a turbocharged 135 cubic inch engine, refined and supercharged with Shelby's special touch. Thanks to an air-to-air intercooler and a stronger intake design, the engine produced an astonishing 175 horsepower and an equal 175 pound-feet of torque. For a front-wheel drive car of its size, these numbers were groundbreaking. The result was a 0 to 60 miles per hour sprint in just 6.5 seconds, making it faster than many traditional V8 muscle cars of its time. But speed alone didn't define the GHS. What made it legendary was how it was handled. Shelby upgraded the suspension with Coney shocks, stiffer springs, and fitted the car with Shelby Centurion alloy wheels wrapped in 8-inch wide Goodyear performance tires. This setup gave the GHS razor-sharp handling and cornering ability that rivaled much more expensive sports cars. It wasn't just fast in a straight line. It dominated tight curves and racetracks with confidence. At Willow Springs Raceway, this unassuming hatchback did the unthinkable. It outperformed a Shelby GT 350 Mustang. Even more shocking, it beat a Ferrari 308 in head-to-head testing, proving that the GHS was not just quick, it was revolutionary. Inside, the GHS proudly displayed its heritage. Shelby-specific trim, tape stripes, Shelby badging, and a special dashboard plaque with a unique serial number reminded every driver they were behind the wheel of something rare. Only 500 units were ever built by Shelby Automobiles in California, cementing its status as a collector's dream. The 1986 Dodge Omni GHS showed the world that true power and performance don't always come in big packages. Number 5, 1989 Dodge Daytona Shelby. The 1989 Dodge Daytona Shelby was designed with purpose and packed with innovation. It showcased just how far Dodge was willing to push the limits of design, engineering, and driving excitement. First, talk about looks. The front design was carefully sculpted to enhance both style and aerodynamics. With its streamlined shape, wraparound headlights, and lowered air dam, the Daytona Shelby projected speed even before the engine roared to life. Every detail served a purpose, from the cooling slots that reduced heat buildup to the raised power bulge on the hood that hinted at the turbocharged power underneath. One glance at the intercooled turbo decal immediately separated this machine from the crowd. Designed with a performance-driven attitude, the car included integrated turn signals and flush-mounted lighting, giving it a modern, seamless appearance. Ground effects along the body and a lift-back spoiler emphasized its sporty profile while improving stability at higher speeds. In addition, its 16-inch aluminum directional wheels were as functional as they were striking. Built with special cooling slots, they help maintain optimal braking performance during spirited drives. Wrapped in Goodyear Eagle tires, the Daytona Shelby remained firmly planted, offering control and traction that rivaled far more expensive sports cars. Beyond this, refinement extended well into the cabin. A leather-wrapped sports steering wheel added tactile control, while the Chrysler Infinity sound system provided premium sound quality that turned every drive into an experience. The seating was both supportive and comfortable, with the driver's seat featuring an impressive 18-way power adjustment for a perfect fit on every trip. Blending digital and analog elements, the instrument cluster felt futuristic yet practical, delivering key performance data in a clean, easy-to-read layout. Every piece of this car came together in a way that reflected innovation and performance, qualities that made the Dodge Daytona Shelby not just fast, but forward-thinking in every sense. Number 4. 1958 Plymouth Fury Golden Commando. In the amazing world of classic American cars, this car came before the Roadrunner, before the Superbird, and even before the famous Barracuda. Its name was the Plymouth Fury Golden Commando, and in the year 1958, it became one of the most impressive cars ever built by Plymouth. To begin with, the Golden Commando was not just any regular Fury. Plymouth only made about 5,300 of them, which makes it very rare and special. It had several features that were new and exciting at the time. For example, it came with power steering and power brakes, which made it easier to drive and stop. It also had tinted glass to keep the sunlight out. Even more exciting was its push-button automatic transmission. Back then, these were considered very high-tech features, and people were amazed to see them in a car. What made this Fury stand out even more was its powerful engine. The Golden Commando came with a V8 engine that had 350 cubic inches. It used two big Carter 4-barrel carburetors that gave the engine lots of air and fuel to make more power. This engine made 305 horsepower and 370 pound-feet of torque. That was very strong for the time, and it showed how far Plymouth was pushing to build better cars. Even the engine looked special. It had gold-painted valve covers and a shiny gold air cleaner on top, giving it a rich and stylish look. It helped make the whole car feel like something grand and important. The Plymouth Fury was also very large. It measured about 206 inches long and almost 80 inches wide. It was as big as some modern pickup trucks. Depending on what equipment it had, it could weigh close to 4,000 pounds. Even though it was heavy, the Golden Commando engine gave the Fury plenty of strength to move with confidence. Some versions could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 7.5 seconds, which was amazing for a big car like this one. The quarter-mile run took around 16 seconds, showing just how powerful the engine really was. The design of the car was also beautiful. It had smooth fins, bold quad headlights, and shiny trim. The special gold and white paint made it look rich and fancy. This was the last year the limited edition Fury would be made, and it ended in style. The Golden Commando played a big role in car history. It came at a time when people wanted powerful engines and bold designs. Without it, later cars like the Dodge Challenger and other muscle cars might not have been the same. Number 3. 1995 Chevrolet Monte Carlo Z34. The 1995 Chevrolet Monte Carlo Z34 stayed loyal to rear-wheel drive and traditional V8 power. The Z34 introduced something entirely fresh by embracing a front-wheel drive layout, a high-revving V6 engine, and forward-thinking design that balanced style, speed, and everyday comfort. Visually, the Monte Carlo Z34 carried a stylish, aerodynamic shape that was bold without being overdone. With its smooth curves, distinctive badging, and clean profile, it brought a modern presence to the road. While inspired by the Chevrolet Lumina's design, The Monte Carlo offered a more aggressive and performance-minded look that helped it stand out among the sea of bland sedans and generic coupes of the mid-90s. The interior was crafted with the driver in mind. A wraparound dashboard gave the cockpit a sporty, focused atmosphere, while the floor-mounted shifter and intuitive layout made every drive engaging. Standard features such as power windows, keyless entry, air conditioning, and a theft deterrent system brought convenience without compromise, showing that performance and practicality could exist side by side. Underneath its sculpted hood lived a 207 cubic inch V6 engine that delivered 215 horsepower and 220 pound-feet of torque. Paired with a 4-speed automatic transmission, this setup sent power smoothly to the front wheels, offering confident performance in every driving condition. From 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 8.1 seconds, with a top speed of 144 miles per hour, the Monte Carlo Z34 delivered genuine excitement behind the wheel. Handling was another area where this coupe impressed. A sport-tuned suspension gave it a grounded feel through corners, while anti-lock brakes provided strong and predictable stopping power. Despite being front-wheel drive, the Monte Carlo maintained excellent control at speed. Torque steer added a bit of personality under full throttle, and the predictable understeer gave drivers the confidence to explore the car's limits without fear. Number 2, 1970 Plymouth Cuda, 440 plus 6. The 1970 Plymouth Cuda 446 painted in the eye-catching, plum-crazy purple, this Cuda turned heads wherever it went and backed up its style with serious strength under the hood. At its core was a 440 cubic inch V8 engine, fitted with a 6-pack carburetor setup that delivered an impressive 390 horsepower. Mated to a 4-speed manual transmission and controlled through the legendary Hurst pistol grip shifter, every drive felt like a trip to the drag strip. The throttle response was sharp, the gear changes were satisfying, and the overall experience was pure American muscle. While Plymouth offered several strong engine choices in 1970, including the 383 and the famous 426 Hemi, the 446 stood out for combining street-friendly performance with brutal power. Riding on a 106-inch wheelbase and weighing around 3,100 pounds, the Cuda offered a well-balanced feel between acceleration and handling. Additionally, this model was more than just fast, it was rare. Out of 48,800 Barracudas built that year, only 548 were convertibles. That makes this particular version a true collector's item. In the year 2000, the car was carefully restored with fresh paint, upgraded ignition parts, new carburetors, a fuel-sending unit, and other high-quality replacements to keep it road-ready and true to its roots. Inside the cabin, the styling matched the power. Black vinyl bucket seats gave it that classic muscle car look, while the wood-rimmed steering wheel added a touch of old-school cool. With just over 800 miles showing on the odometer since restoration, the car feels fresh yet retains all its vintage charm. Number 1, 1995 C4 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1. The 1995 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 proved that American engineering could go head-to-head with the world's finest performance machines. Known as the King of the Hill, this car left a permanent mark on automotive history. With power, technology, and precision working in perfect unison, the ZR1 showed the world exactly what a true American sports car could achieve. Now let's talk power. This groundbreaking machine was the revolutionary LT5 engine, a 350 cubic inch V8 developed in collaboration with Lotus. Featuring an all-aluminum construction, dual overhead camshafts, and 32 valves, it pushed out an astonishing 405 horsepower and 385 pound-feet of torque. This was not a traditional Corvette power plant. It was something far more advanced, something that gave the ZR1 a level of performance previously unheard of from an American car. Acceleration was lightning fast, with 0 to 60 miles per hour taking just 4.5 seconds. Its top speed reached a jaw-dropping 180 miles per hour, placing it in the same conversation as far more expensive European exotics. Yet unlike those high-priced imports, the ZR1 delivered world-class speed without an outrageous price tag, making it a performance bargain that few could rival. Moreover, handling was another area where the ZR1 shone. Chevrolet equipped the car with a wider rear track, extra-large rear tires, and a sophisticated adjustable ride control system. Drivers could switch between comfortable cruising and razor-sharp performance at the touch of a button. This wasn't just a straight-line missile, it was a well-rounded performance car that delivered confidence through every turn. On the outside, the ZR1 kept things clean but purposeful. The design featured a wider rear body, squared-off tail lamps, and subtle badging that quietly announced its superiority. Inside, the cabin included supportive leather seats, digital instrumentation, and a smooth-shifting 6-speed manual transmission that made every drive feel like a special event. With limited production numbers and serious street credibility, the 1995 Corvette ZR1 became one of the most respected sports cars ever built. These classics will always have a special place in car history. Drop a comment, hit like, and don't forget to subscribe for more Legends on Wheels.